Alrighty, I think we're live. Hey everybody, Jonathan Bobrow here, creator of Blinks. We're back for another live stream every Tuesday and Thursday at 1 p.m. Going forward, we're looking to start to do some developer-centric, and then on Thursdays you can always catch us here Thursdays at 1 p.m. and we're doing our big core set giveaways at the end of our live stream. So welcome back to everybody who's coming back. I see Mike and Lee in the comments. And today I wanted to pick a specific game from our set and dive a little bit deeper into strategy. And so if this is your first time watching the live stream, I always like to start out with a little bit of explanation of what Blinks are, and that way you can join along. And if you're just receiving your Blinks, this is a perfect way to learn how to play some of the games that you've received, learn how to play them, learn some strategy about them. And so today during our live stream, I'm going to be playing with one of the games from the core set. It's a two-player game. I'll just be explaining it here myself, so we'll be able to talk through a bit of strategy. But the reason for choosing this game today was that as we were working with one of our game designers from the new community set that'll be shipping in September, the designer let me know that this is the game he plays most often. And I was kind of surprised by that because I've always liked the game, but have not consistently found somebody to play with. It's not Jamie's favorite, so typically it's the kind of game I would break out if I'm out at a bar with a friend. And so these days, as that hasn't been as much of the case, Jamie and I will play games on Blinks that more suit our playing style. So without any more suspension building, the game I'm going to break out today is a game from the core set of Blinks. And I'm just going to hold up, let's see, this is a new prototype of the boxes, much smaller, much more portable. And the game we're going to be playing today is right on the back there. We're going to be playing Mortals. And so if you haven't played Mortals and if you haven't broken out your Blinks, let me get you started. So I'm going to switch our cameras over. Okay, so Blinks, each Blink is an intelligent game piece. They respond to touch, and they communicate with their neighbors. They're these little magnetic hexagons, and they all communicate with their neighbors. Each one knows a different game. It can teach all the other ones how to play that game. And if you want more information on it, move38.com. It's a great place to go. And then also in our YouTube channel, we explain lots about it. So in Mortals is one of the games that comes in the core set. It only requires 6 Blinks. I would recommend that maybe you only play with 12 maximum with Mortals. I've tried to play with more, and maybe we can try that today as well. But I thought it's actually really kind of neat. Mortals is a game that really shines with just 6 Blinks. And so let me describe a little bit about the gameplay, and then we can talk about strategy. And Lee gives a thumbs up for the new packaging. Thank you so much. I feel like the new packaging is going to be really nice for everybody for shipping, carrying it with you, and also a little bit more eco-friendly, a lot less material. So let's go ahead and get Mortals loaded. So I've got all 6 of my core set games here. I'm just going to, sometimes I like to do this. I'll line them up in a straight line to load the game. So I grab Mortals. You hold it down until it turns crazy blue. It's about 3 seconds. It looks for neighbors to teach the game. And then when I introduce it, it teaches all of the other Blinks. They don't have to be in a straight line like this. It'll find all of them eventually. I just kind of like the way it looks. And so while Mortals is loading, I can tell you a bit about how to play Mortals. So in Mortals, there's 2 teams. it's a post-apocalyptic battle. There's a purple team, and then we need a green team. So let's go ahead and create a green team. I'm going to press all 3 of those down, and when they go green and purple, you can see what that looks like. They're ready to change team. And you can only change team in this setup mode. And setup mode looks like this. So green team and the purple team are in setup mode. And that's just like they're kind of, I'm ready to go. The starting sequence, or the way that you set up to play Mortals, is with this 2 head-to-head combat starting sequence. I really like the way the shape works in this way. You can start it in other arrangements, but this is the one we recommend in the instructions. And the goal of this game is to be the last living mortal. So each piece, which has 6, it's kind of this special 6-segment LED display. Each segment represents 10 seconds of life. And so when you start the game, and you start by double-clicking, they all light up with all 6 of their segments bright. And so you can see all 6 of those triangular segments lit up. After 10 seconds, you can see all of them counted down 1 segment. And so we'll see in another about 5 seconds, we'll lose another segment. And they all count down together. In designing this game, we thought this is something you really can't do with cardboard tabletop games. Each piece has its own timer and lifespan. And while they're all counting together right now, they're all counting down. The way the game works is that you steal time or life from other mortals. And so if I'm green and I move here, I steal 5 seconds from each of the ones I attached to, and now that one's living longer, and these 2 are closer to dying. When they die, they become zombies, and they accelerate the death of those around them. And so if you have a lot of zombies surrounding you, you die quicker. If you have 1 zombie on you, it's still increasing the rate of death, but not as significantly. The rate at which the zombies, they multiply the speed of death. So if you have I believe if you have a zombie, 1 zombie attached, all of a sudden you're dying, you're losing 2 health points every second instead of 1. If you have 3 zombies on you, that's an additional 3 health points being sucked from you. So the zombies do a lot of damage. As I mentioned in this game, the goal is to be the last living mortal, and it happens really fast. You saw I started the game, I made 1 move, and then the game was over as I was still explaining it. So it's a really fast-paced game. And for that reason, I think it's pretty helpful to have a sense of what kind of strategy and how you might play it, because it could be over before you really know it. I don't recommend Mortals being the first game you play with a friend, largely because people are going to get used to, okay, what's a blink, and how do I hold it, and what's the button do on top. But I think Mortals is probably the 3rd game you want to play. You might want to start with something like Wham, the whack-a-mole style game that's real familiar. Something like Puzzle 101, where you get to understand that each side is unique. And then Mortals, I feel like, offers up something that once you know how to handle blinks, you can really get into. So let me start up another one of these, another game of Mortals, and let's see. I'm going to talk through the phases of the game. So there's 2 phases of Mortals. The first phase is really the pre-apocalypse in some sense, right? You're stealing life, but there's no zombies. And in that moment, your goal here is just to accrue as much life as possible. So moving here and stealing 5 seconds, not such a great move. If I moved here and stole 10, it's a better starting move. So in the beginning of the game, we're going to be taking turns stealing life from each other. This is a pretty common start. In this case, I took life from myself. Not that big of a deal. And so as I'm stealing life and trading life, I'm building up as much health as I can. The moment zombies are on the board, you need to make sure that you get away from zombies. And so you can even break zombies off and put them on your opponent to trap them in with zombies. So a totally legal move is grabbing zombies and putting them on your opponent. They don't, you don't, of course, gain any life at that point, but you can surround your opponent, making it very difficult for them to move out of a zombie pit. And so I forget how quick this is, especially when I'm playing somebody else and they can be thinking and moving. It's a really, really fast game. And so, so I'm going to go ahead and start that off, and I'm just going to play both sides of this so you could see the starting game strategy and end game strategy. So I'm going to attempt to do a strategy with the green, where one of my green pieces is gathering as much health as possible, and I'm going to play the purple side to evenly distribute my health. And we'll see how that works out. Purple is going to notice that green is gathering all the health in one tile, and so purple's going to try and prevent green from being able to move that one that it's hoarding life with. So I'm going to grab as much as possible here. Didn't trap, so purple notices that it's going to trap me in. Take as much life as possible. Purple's strategy is to distribute. Let's see. Purple's trapped in, so it has to move one of these ones. Green is trying to hoard with one tile. Okay, purple needs to get out of there. Probably should have moved there. All right, so purple, I think, is going to want to trap green in. Green can't move this, is going to throw zombies into the mix. Probably should have just thrown it on one. Purple can trap, and purple won in that case. So, and of course, in the end of the game of Mortals, everybody dies. You notice once you have one last living mortal, you declare you're the winner. Let's see, I'm just checking the comments. So, one of the great questions in the comments. So Braden asked, Puzzle 101, another one of the games in our core set, comes in the original 6. Is there a way to play it with more than 6? On one of our live streams, Jamie and I actually used 18 blinks, created 3 simultaneous puzzles, and then built them all into one larger solution. It was actually a pretty fun challenge, and you know, it's not how they were designed to be used, but it actually worked out quite well. And Lee points out correctly that there is a sequel to Puzzle 101 in the works, so down the road that'll be something to look forward to. Let's see. Jonas mentions that he wishes Mortals played a little bit longer. Yeah, it's really, really short, really quick gameplay. And Lee's pointing out that you could, with the developer kit, so blinks are an open source platform. Every blink shipped is one that you can reprogram and adjust. And so you can actually change the time limits for Mortals to play it a little longer and slower. I think in one of our other live streams, a recommendation was to, instead of having time be real time, have the time tick down with every move you make. And so that actually brings me to a next piece of Mortals. There's quite a bit going on in this one game, and it has to happen really quickly. So you gotta kind of practice or find somebody to practice with to get to really be able to think strategically that quickly. So when you're moving in Mortals, one of the initial questions was, why wouldn't I just wait until all of the pieces, so I'm just going to hold one out here. I'm just going to wait 60 seconds or 59 seconds, and then I'm going to attach mine and win. And so to prevent that, we call this aggression mode. You can think of it as when you're going into battle, it's like, okay, you're amped up, but it's really, you're shortening your lifespan. And so while this one is out here in aggression mode, getting ready to attack, you noticed it died. And all of these ones have half their life left. When you're in aggression mode, you're losing life at twice the rate of the other pieces. And so the reason for that addition there is to not only prevent you from just hanging out, waiting on your move to just drain life, but also I think it keeps the game kind of moving, where you have to think about your move ahead of time so that you can real quickly grab and make your next move. Let's see. Everybody's discussing their fall semester course schedule. Puzzle 101 is in session, and Puzzle 102 is being immediately jumped. We're an accelerated audience. So let's see. I've got maybe another 7 minutes or so where I'll talk more about how we can, some strategy for mortals. If anybody has any questions about mortals as well, or even some comments on who you play mortals with, how you like to play it best. I was pretty surprised actually when I was talking with one of the designers, and he was just like, yeah, I love playing mortals with my kid. Like, it was like, oh, no way. Like, I didn't actually think, I think his son is 6 years old, and I was actually kind of impressed. I didn't think 6 was old enough to really be able to play mortals that strategically, but I think the high-speed nature of it is really fun. But I should note that at 1:25, I will start the core set giveaway. And we've actually got all of our ducks in a row, so I'm going to share my screen and share the process of how we choose that winner today. So super excited. Our winner from last week received their blinks and is already having a blast with them. Let's see. Okay, so with mortals, we talked about more time, so let me break out I'm going to break out some more pieces. Okay, so here I've got 6 more pieces. I'm going to load up mortals on 6 more. And of course, if you have the developer kit, you can create more teams. So, you know, in mortals, there's purple, green, head-to-head battle. But if you wanted to create more teams for mortals, there's just a variable in the code that changes it to 4 teams. Because it's so dependent on time, the head-to-head 2-player is something we really wanted for that game. Let's see. So I'm going to load it up with 12 just so you can see 12. And I mentioned one of my strategies before, which was the strategy of hoarding a bunch of life. I think another strategy is distributing life amongst each of your blinks. So in a game of 12, the game works the same way. We could, pit them head to head as a sort of, almost like football teams. Double-clicking any one of them starts the game. And in 12, you'll notice that because each of them only have 60 seconds to live, the game will last a little bit longer. There is more life. In this kind of play, it's so tight to grab pieces that I feel like you might need to make rules about where you can grab from. And it looks like I'm stealing quite a bit from myself here. Gonna go back there. Purple's gonna go in here. Green's going to trap purple in. And the crazy thing about playing with 12 is once there's a zombie on the board, it spreads so quickly, and the zombies become really quite powerful. So I think trapping somebody in is the best. And yeah, green just destroyed. So once zombies get on the board and you're kind of in this space, it really moves fast. That might be with playing with more blinks and mortals, might be a good use case where you'd want to see more time on the board. And so actually it's probably helpful for me to share a little bit about why we chose 60 seconds. When the game Mortals was initially designed, currently, or better yet, so like when the game starts, there's these 6 segments that each represent 10 seconds. When we initially designed Mortals, instead of showing their health with this kind of tick down, they would show how much health they had based on how quickly they were breathing. So when they all started out, they all had this kind of slow pulse. And then as they got closer and closer to dying, their breathing would speed up quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker. And it would do that over time, and it would kind of like just increase, and then it would like hyperventilate and then pop. We found that it was a little difficult to play the strategic game that way. I think at a I believe at PAX Unplugged, I was playing the game and discussing the game with the head of games in Europe for Kickstarter. And we were sitting down, we were playing Mortals, and he was like, we had played maybe 5 rounds, and he's like, it's difficult for me to tell whether I want to invest in this piece or that piece. I wish I could just see exactly how much life I had left. And while we don't have a lot of fidelity to show a lot of granularity, I was like, for 60 seconds, 10 seconds each piece, worked out pretty well. And so on the spot, I pulled out my laptop and I modified the code so that we could play the game, and instead of the breathing, the 6-segment LED would just count down. And it's funny, I remember spending like hours and hours and hours on getting the animation right for the breathing, and then it was like a 5-minute change to just say, okay, turn off 1 LED every 10 seconds that have gone by. And so that small change, we continued playing through the night. We probably played another 20 rounds of Mortals with that small change, and it made the game so much more strategic, and so that's how we changed it to that. And then so that 60-second limit is really what felt natural to be able to display the right amount of information, but it does create a very quick, really quick game. Something I never really thought about is the ability to perhaps have substitutions. I think actually the reset mode, so if I start a game and then I bring in, so to bring in never thought to play that way, but you could start, if you wanted to make the game a little bit longer, you could have reserves that you would just have to double tap before bringing in. That might be a nice way of figuring out when you want to bring in some more time. One of the things that's pretty common with the Blinks games is we'll design it to be played a specific way, and the rule sets walk you through it, and you can watch the how-to video. But you see in our developer forums and on Facebook, here on YouTube, that people like to share their different ways of playing the games, and so adding some home rules is totally okay. Let's see, just checking the comments. Let's see. Yes. Lee is asking about the new developer Blink. The new developer Blink allows you to upload games to your Blinks hands-free. Our old developer kits, we've gone through about 4 different versions, have these pogo pins for publishing your games. You still get that tool for publishing games, We want you to be able to make your own games and share them wherever you are. But the new developer Blink is so much faster to develop with, and also saves you the hassle of worrying about programming incorrectly. Let's see. And Braden asks, the only option on the website right now for the Dove kit is pre-order, and that's for that new developer kit. Those will be shipping in August and September. We're in August. By September 1st, I believe, is we'll start to see developer kits go out. Let's see. Mortals. Awesome. Cool. So we're at 127. Yeah, definitely in the comments below, make sure you share the way you like to play Mortals. I'm always looking for people to play Mortals with. In the office, Marty and I are we've had some really good games of Mortals, and like I think I just want to get better and better at it. It feels like it has the ability to be kind of this high speed, kind of like a speed chess like game. But it does require digging in a bit, and you know, you can think about strategy for Mortals on pen and paper, but the real-time aspect and movement is really so much of the fun. So without keeping you waiting any longer, see lots of you tuned in, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna switch my screen to, no, that's not it. I'm gonna switch my screen to a mode where, let's see, that's pretty close. Let's do this. Okay, I want to share the screen so you can see the picker. I even practiced this. Let's see, so I'm going to add a window, and that window, okay. Let's see what window that is. Okay, here we go. So we've got a spreadsheet. Excuse me. And with all of our, here we go. All right, so here's our spreadsheet. We've got all of our submissions for the week. Thank you so much to everybody who shared Blinks with all their friends and family. We got lots of submissions this week and lots of shares. I'm gonna be rolling, oh, there we go. Let's see. So the way I'm gonna do this is I'm going to be rolling a die. And so what I've done here is there's the tagged friend bonus. For every friend you tag, you get extra chances of winning the Blinks core set. We're giving one away each week. And so if you tag 10 friends, Harrison, who's tagged 10 friends, has a range between the numbers 16 and 25. And so we're gonna roll a die, and the die is gonna be rolled within the range of all of the submissions here. And so let me go ahead and bring that up. If I switch over and create a new window, perfect. All right, so here I'm going to open dice roll. Okay, here we go. All right, so we've got, let's see, roll a die. I used Google's tool last time. Ah, perfect. All right, thank you, Google. So in this case, we need to create automatically adds number to your total. That's not what we want to do. We want to find a die that has, oh no. This is a super cool tool, but what we need, I've actually never seen this before. What we need is we need roll a custom die. Pick a random number. That's what we want. Okay, here we go. So, I believe I'm just gonna check the sheet. There are 91 is the top of the range here. And so let's go ahead and between 1 and 91, I'm going to go ahead and generate. Drum roll, please. 85. We go to our weekly giveaway. Between 82, 84. Oh my goodness! 85. Simone Runkle. All right, congratulations, Simone. A huge congrats here. All right, we'll be contacting you for your mailing address, and we'll be shipping you a core set. And every week, there's no limitations to how many times you can join. So go ahead and be sure to participate next week. And let me switch back to, here we go. Be sure to join us next week for our live streams. We're going to be assembling our 2020 summer games and shipping them out next week. Of course, if you don't have Blinks, you can get them. We've got our summer special right now, so you can still get the combo pack, $40 cheaper than the MSRP. And a couple of last announcements. We have 2 giveaways going on. The weekly giveaway, all you have to do is follow these 3 steps. You share one of our posts on Instagram or Facebook. If you tag a game-loving friend, you get an extra chance to win for every friend you tag. And then you sign up on the Blinks newsletter. So if you're not signed up on the Blinks newsletter, make sure you're signed up there. All of this is available at move38.com, pages Enter to Win. And the other active contest we have, I believe we have only 2 days left to enter. We've been posting awesome videos of all the entries. The Sushi Roll Challenge. To perform the Sushi Roll Challenge, I might as well give it another attempt in front of everyone. So I'm going to go ahead and power down my Blinks first, doing just a sleeper hold here. All right. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to this scene before I do it. So to do the Sushi Roll Challenge, put your Blinks away. This is my pro tip. So the winners of the Sushi Roll Challenge will get a choice of core or expansion, and everybody who enters. Also, we're giving these limited edition orange sushi roll cases. So to participate in the Sushi Roll Challenge, you have to have your Blinks attached by only one panel, all like that. And then you have to roll up the Blinks using only one hand. Some people have gotten creative. Feel free to post other ways of doing this, but let's see if I can do it. Nope. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'll get better. Let's see. All just on one. And you just go, not my day today. Not my day. So post yours. If you post a fail, that's okay too. You don't have to succeed in it to win. We're going to pick the best video for the Sushi Roll Challenge for the winner. So clearly I'm not in the running. All right. Thanks so much for joining, everybody. Get your Blinks at move38.com and be sure to subscribe down below. Check the bell. Congratulations to Simone, our winner. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody on our next live stream. See you next week.